Yes, Gauri, you're live now. You can start in 30 seconds.
Good evening, everybody. From the Tamil Heritage Trust, a very warm welcome to all of you who have joined us today for the April 2026 edition of our monthly talk series. Today, I have great pleasure in welcoming you to a very special session that not only celebrates literature, but energizes and creates this very idea of India and Indian literature as a cohesive entity. Literature adds to reality. It does not simply describe it, said C.S. Lewis. All of us who appreciate literature know and understand that literature has this ability to connect us, to humanize us. It enables us to see the world through the eyes of another person. Now, India, as a diverse and varied country, has many languages, many histories, and countless stories. Unfortunately for us, most of these stories are hidden or confined within the boundaries of the languages in which they are written. For a minute, imagine how it would be if we could listen to the voices across these boundaries, or if these voices from various languages and regions could speak to each other and to us. Today's evening talks about one such project which actualized and realized precisely this possibility. We are privileged to have with us today the acclaimed author and Padma Shri awardee, Sivasankari, who traveled for 16 years to various corners of India to create this extraordinary project, Lit India Through Literature. Conceived at a time which was before the digital networking era, this ambitious endeavor sought to weave together literary voices from various languages and regions across India to create a voluminous literary anthology that personified the idea of India and in Indian literature as a single entity. Join me together to welcome the author, traveler, and literary bridge builder, Sivasankari, to our forum today. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Before we move on to the main program, and I tell you a little bit more about the author and her talk and hand over the podium to her, let me give you a brief introduction to Tamil Heritage Trust, which is our organization. Tamil Heritage Trust or Tamil Paramparya Arakattalai is a voluntary organization started by a group of like-minded people almost 15 years back with the explicit objective of understanding, appreciating, disseminating, and celebrating information related to India's rich history and heritage, not just for the benefit of the scholarly and academically inclined, but the average enthusiastic public as well. Towards this end, THT conducts programs and events throughout the year. Chief amongst these are our talks and seminars. Our flagship event is this monthly talk series, which we have been continuing to conduct for almost 15 years now. We merely changed the platform from in-person to online through and post-corona. Another event of ours is called the Anthology Festival, which is an annual online event conducted in the month of June. Across 6 days, 12 scholars come together to analyze various aspects of a particular topic. The other annual event of ours is conducted in the month of December and called Pechu Kacheri. It collaborates and coincides with the Margari Isai Kacheris of Chennai and is more Tamil Nadu centric in nature. Our Pechu Kacheri in December 2025 was called Deva Tamil, Nayanmars and Alvars, and all the talks can be watched on the video playlist of ours. Apart from our talks and seminars at THT, we also conduct various one-day workshops called Housat or How to See a Temple and Housam, How to See a Museum. These are conducted in 2 sessions. In the forenoon session, we have a series of lectures, and in the afternoon, the participants are taken to a practical site to elucidate what was discussed earlier. Then on and off, we have classroom sessions on a variety of topics like Pallava Grantham, ancient Indian astronomy, ancient Indian mathematics, etc., where anybody can register and participate. Another initiative of ours is called Alamar Away, which is meant for the school teachers of Tamil Nadu. Over a series of weekend lectures, aspects of history and heritage are discussed, the idea being that these teachers will take them back to their students, further spreading awareness. Docent training is another initiative of ours, where we give training to prepare docents so that they can present historical sites and heritage monuments in a professional manner to the audience. Site Seminar, another initiative of ours, is largely an in-house activity meant for self-education and self-enhancement. We zero in upon a particular site in India, and over a series of weeks, our volunteers study the same in depth. Then we have a number of in-house seminars, and armed with all this knowledge, we visit the particular site for an immersive experience. This happens in the month of January every year, and in January 2026, our site seminar was called Koshtandhra, where we visited Vizag, Vijayawada, and areas around that. Apart from this, from the THT, we have also instituted 2 awards for individual contributions. The first such award is called Professor S. Swaminathan Heritage Award, named after our co-founder, and is given for individual contributions in the field of history and heritage. Independent historian Falak Chowdhury was the winner of this award in 2025. The other award of ours is called V. Venkaiah Epigraphy Award. Named after V. Venkaiah, who was the first official Indian epigraphist, this award has been instituted by Miss Sunita Madhavan, his great-granddaughter. THT has been entrusted with the responsibility of administering this award, which is given for individual contributions in the field of Indian epigraphy. Senior epigraphist Professor Srinivas Padikkar was the winner in 2025. We have a YouTube channel where you will find links to all our talks right down to today's talk. Kindly subscribe and click on the bell icon to receive notifications of future events. These are our social media handles. We have a website, Facebook, Twitter. To join our mailing list or to contribute to any of our events in a voluntary capacity, you can mail us at this address. We are a voluntary organization. We do not have any dedicated financial backing, so any kind of contributions will be welcome. You may use this UPI ID or QR code to contribute, and the same will be deeply appreciated. Moving on to today's talk, as I already told you, Sivasankari traveled for 16 years to various corners of India to create this Knit India Through Literature project. Today, she will be guiding us through the vision, the scale of this extraordinary undertaking and its purpose, methodology, and enduring impact. She will also recount her journeys across the country, the writers she engaged with, and the insights she gathered along the way. Drawing from both personal experience and broader literary currents, she will also reflect on the continuing relevance of Indian literature, past, present, and future, within both national and global contexts. Now, a little bit about the speaker. Frankly, Sivasankari needs no introduction at all. She is one of Tamil literature's most distinguished and widely read authors, with a prolific body of work spanning novels, short stories, travelogues, and essays that engage deeply with social issues and human relationships. Her landmark project, Knit India Through Literature, reflects her enduring commitment to fostering national integration through cultural understanding. In recognition of her immense contribution to literature and society, she was conferred the Padma Shri in 2026, one of India's highest civilian honors. Through her writings and initiatives, she continues to inspire readers across generations and linguistic boundaries. Without further ado, I now invite Sivasankari to take over center stage and deliver her talk.
Can I start?
Yeah. Yeah.
My greetings to everyone who have assembled to participate in this Zoom meeting from within India and also from few other countries. And I thank Tamil Heritage Trust for giving me this wonderful opportunity, because it's always been a pleasure, a fulfilling feeling whenever I talk about Knit India through literature, the experiences I had doing that. Before I begin, I just want to talk to you about a proverb, Paramuri, which I got to know in Assam when I visited Assam to interview writers. In 15th century, there was a king called Nara Narayana, and one day he had a crazy idea that one of his poets should have the capacity to condense Bhagavatam, the huge work, into a abridged form in one night. Every other poet was scared to even attempt, but Shankar Dev, a very renowned poet, said he will take the challenge. And he sat on one night and completely condensed Mahabharata, the Bhagavatam, and called it Gunamala and presented it to the king the next day. The whole kingdom and king, they were all taken aback by this wonderful task, impossible task, Herculean task. And from that day onwards, they created a proverb: catch an elephant and stuff it in a pot. யானையை பிடித்து பானையில் அடைப்பது. When somebody does an extraordinary, unbelievable job, in a way to compliment them, they always say this proverb. Why am I saying this now? Because in the given time, maybe it's 45 minutes or 1 hour, it's impossible to talk about every aspect of Knit India through literature. It is like catching an elephant and stuffing it in a pot. But I'll try my level best to make it as interesting as possible for every one of you. When I completed 25 years as a writer, I wanted to do something really, really important, big, to the literary world, which has given me so much, and also to my country. I'm a very patriotic person. I love my country. So I thought, with literature and my patriotism, if I can do something, that will be great. But I didn't know what to do. At that time, it was in 92. From Mysore, I got an invitation to participate in a writers' meet, where 20 other writers from different languages from India, we participated and stayed in Vanyaloka, a beautiful place in Mysore, and we discussed about a book called The Brewster Place by Gloria Naira. It's a Black American literature. For 2 days, we had an excellent time. We analyzed it threadbare, and it was such a satisfying event. When I was coming back in the train, a thought struck me. When we Indian writers from other languages, when we meet, we are able to discuss Latin American literature, Black literature, English literature, French literature, Japanese literature, but not Indian literature. Why? Then I realized it is because of lack of enough translations. Almost 10 or 15 days after this particular incident, one more incident happened. Sahitya Academy invited me to be an observer for Eastern Women Writers Conference to be held in Sikkim. So I went there and I met all the wonderful, the most important women writers like Mahashweta Devi, Pratibha Rai, Nirmal Prabha Bardulai, and all people. And they were all there. We were all together for 3 days. And in all the 3 days, people talked about, you're from Tamil Nadu, so the Kanchivaram saris Silk saris are so beautiful. Idli, dosa, sambar. That's all. Nobody knew anything about literature or anything about our culture or habits. Nothing. I was in fact angry that they were all so ignorant. But when I thought about it, I asked myself a question: how much do I know about those people? How much do I know? Excepting Tagore, how many people know the Bengali writers, the poets? And how many people know about Manipuri writers, the Indian Nepali writers, Kashmiri writers, Konkani writers? I mean, some people have not even heard of those regions. We are also ignorant. As Indians, we hardly know each other, leave alone literature. Even our habits, I mean, the values are same, I agree. But the way we dress up is different, the way we eat it is different. And culturally, although there is a big unity, there is also the differences. But what do we know? At the same time, Baba Amte was doing a Padayatra called Knit India Movement to bring an awareness about environment and also national unity. That word, Knit India, attracted me so much. When I thought I have to do something, the seeds were sown inside me from the Mysore and Sikkim experiences. I decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to introduce Indians to Indians through literature. I wanted to look at every region, the culture, their habits, their values, the status of the women, the youngsters, younger generation, as much as possible through the eyes of the writers, which will be very authentic. But how do I go about it? The whole thing looked so massive for me. I decided I will stick on to a canvas with boundaries, like the 8th schedule of our constitution. At that time, in 92-93, when I started this project, had approved 18 languages as official languages. So I thought I'll stick to these 18 languages, and for convenience sake, I'll make 4 volumes. South has 4 languages, East has 5 languages, West has 4, and North has 5. So totally 18 languages. So that I'll make 4 volumes, East, South, East, West, and North. Once the pattern was decided, how I'm going to go about it, then I decided on the content. See, I'm not a scholar. And I certainly was not writing for scholars. I was writing for common Indian who should know about the fellow Indians and the greatness of this country. So I said, first I'll have a very interesting travelogue to hook in my readers and others into the book. But otherwise, it's a very research-oriented literary book. Not many people will take it and read it like they do a fiction book. So there will be a travelogue. Now, after that, I wanted to select 4 to 6 writers or poets from each language, and their in-depth interview will be there, followed by the translation of one of their works, short story or some few poems or 2 chapters from a novel. Then finally, I have invited a scholar to write about the development of that language. So this is what each volume has, and this is the plan with which I started working. 93, 94, you all know, was not a developed, technically electronic developments had not come. We still had the phone, which we have to do like that with a finger, and not many houses had a phone because having a phone was a luxury. And no Google, I call Google now Google Acharya. Once I touch something or type something, it gives me 100 pages, 50 pages worth of information. Supposing I asked Google, tell me who are the leading writers in Kashmir, it would have given me 25 to 30 writers' names just like that. But when I started, there was no help as such. I had to write to literary bodies, associations in various states, and request them to suggest 10 of their best writers. I had to keep a benchmark, so I kept people who had received Sahitya Academy Award. And from the letters I got, the common names, 4 to 6, I picked them and I decided I will do work on them. This was, till today, nobody has said that the method was wrong and I have selected wrong writers. There are one or two who says you could have included this person also, but I always had limitations. Then once the writers are selected, and today, as I said, the Google Acharya was not there, and I had to go from library to library, get huge thick books, bring them home, sit and take references and write notebooks after notebooks, reference about the language, about the state, and about the particular writer's creator, poet I'm going to meet. And whatever translation was available in English only, I could read that and gather my information. My work had 4 stages. First, it is homework. I had to prepare myself, study about them, study about the state. The second is fix up appointments and do field work. Go to their place where they live and meet them in their own houses. And the third one, coming back and transcribing all those tapes. And the last stage is editing and giving it for printing. So I had worked out all these things, but I never realized how much time consuming this project and what a huge project I had aspired for. And I had to simultaneously, once I started work, I maybe because of my ignorance and my enthusiasm, I'm a very fast worker. I thought 4 books are there, 4 regions to be covered. So I will take 1 year to cover one region. And then 4 years are gone like that. And 5th year, I'll sit and write and compile them. And 6th year, I'll give it for printing. I thought it is as simple as that. But no, it took me 16 years, long years. It was a penance. It became a penance. I never realized what I got into. 16 years non-stop, I had given up my personal writing because I didn't want any diversions. And how much I traveled, how much I studied, how much what kind of experiences I had. The first volume was comparatively very easy because South, Malayalam, Kannadam, Telugu, and Tamil. I'm so familiar with all these 4 languages and the regions, and I have practically visited many places in all these 4 states. So it was not at all difficult. The first volume, it was so easy, there were no challenges at all. But the second volume, East, to a great extent, East and then West and North also, I started facing the challenges. In Eastern India, while you interview them, you feel you understand many things. But when you come back and play the tape, their pronunciation is so different. They don't say we, they say B, Vivekananda. We say Vivekananda. So all these things, when I personally met them and did the interview, it didn't bother me. I could understand. But when I came back, it was, in this whole project, I took help only for transcriptions and typing. And here I want to mention about Lalita, a wonderful, wonderful woman who was my, like a daughter. She was my best secretary for 41 years. Really speaking, if Lalita's hard work was not there, I wonder whether I would be able, I would have finished this project so successfully. I used to bring the tapes, and 2-3 people offered to come and help me after hearing about the project. But some, they helped in the transcription, but East they could not. They returned the tapes. Then Lalita said, Amma, I will do the transcription myself. So she sat, I brought her a transcriber from Singapore, which will run the tape slowly so that she will hear it and type it simultaneously. The transcription, because of however much hard we try, we are humans. We tend to make some small errors. So when the East got published, 2 or 3 writers complained about 1 or 2, not many, factual errors. We just couldn't help it because we didn't understand. The names were alien to us, whatever they spoke, everything. So it's not an excuse, but we did make a couple of mistakes. So in the next edition, I corrected it. But from the West and North volumes, after preparing, the transcription will be about 80 pages. I will sit and condense it to 10 pages and write the 10 pages in Tamil. And then the Tamil 10 pages will be again translated into English using the exact words that are found in the tape. So I really don't know whether you can call this book originally written in Tamil or in English. I feel because all the interviews were in English. And only the translated portion, which was edited version that came to 10 pages, was in Tamil, and that was translated again in English. So Lalita helped me in typing, in transcribing, and we both, I did all other work, preparing my homework, my field work, and contacting the writers. It was not like WhatsApp today. You just give a WhatsApp message to America. Within 10 seconds, you get a reply. But it was not so then. It was only through registered mail. And the registered mail, depending on the place where you sent, they took from 1 week to 10 days to 15 days. And if the writers are prompt, they replied it in another 15 days' time. Their letter reached me. I used to keep the self-addressed envelope and then ask them to tell me whether they are ready to meet me on such and such a day. Most of the writers in remote regions like Manipur, Rajasthan, and Kashmir, they never believed I'm really going to come. 2 or 3 writers expressed their surprise that they said, Sivasankari ji, you have really come. We never expected you to come. We thought it's just a letter coming. They couldn't believe it. And when I went to Manipur, my contact there, the writer, she wrote to me saying that don't come, there is insurgency in Manipur. 16 revolutionary groups were there. They were kidnapping people for ransom and everything, and it's very risky, don't come. But I had to go because Manipuri is one of the approved languages. So I went to a relative of mine who was IG in police in Chennai. So I told him my situation and I requested him to help. He sent to the DGP a message to Manipur. And believe me, when I landed, I was so apprehensive. I don't know why, because people had threatened me not to come. But when I landed in Manipur, there were 2 police jeeps with my name as placard there and waiting for me to receive me. And they provided escort for me. All the 1 week or 10 days I stayed there to finish my interviews. Then I, of course, said I was embarrassed to have 2 jeeps following me. So I requested them to give me just 1 woman officer, police officer, and 1 jeep. That was a great, great, great help. And the the writers were very, very cooperative. They all were delighted. They were very, very pleased that such a project is taking place and they are part of it. And meeting those great literary giants was was a blessing. Was a blessing. The 16 years, as I said earlier, I literally became possessed, obsessed with my project. I slept with Knit India, I ate with Knit India, I breathed with Knit India. I didn't think of anything else. Because it was a massive work, it demanded so much of my attention. And I had immersed myself into it. It was truly, as somebody called it, one-woman army's work. And I am so privileged to say that. Meeting 100 literary giants, I mean, it was, what a blessing it was. And to travel crisscross this wonderful country and have Bharata Darshan, I think I was privileged. I had lots of difficulties because of the cost factor. I had to go alone to every place, wherever it is. I mean, it was not easy like today. So many connections, so many air connections are there. But those days, the air connections were very rare. For example, if I had to go to Imphal, which is the capital of Manipur, I had to go from here to Calcutta, Calcutta to Guwahati, and Guwahati to Imphal. And that too, Guwahati to Imphal, you had flights only twice a week or thrice a week. So you have to manage that timing also. The travels were not easy at all. And how did I don't know any other Indian language. I know only English and Tamil. And Hindi, it's a survival Hindi. You cannot do a scholarly talk or speech with that knowledge of mine. But fortunately, out of the 100 literary giants I interviewed, believe me, 98 spoke English. The interviews were all in English. Only 2 I needed interpreter, somebody to a daughter or some assistant to come and translate it for me. Our former president, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, had said once, Indian literature is one written in many languages. It's so true. So true. I found so much of similarities between the languages and the literature, not between the languages, but the literature of those languages. And to mention a few, except Tamil, which is as old as Sanskrit or equivalent to it in ancient, it's an ancient language. All other Indian languages, the first major literary work for them was the translation of Ramayana and Mahabharata. Without a single exception, every language you can find the major work, Ramayana and Mahabharata. And the impact of freedom struggle it's a phase. Every language literature reflected the freedom fights, problems, the agony and ecstasy, everything. And writers' thoughts and concerns were very much alike. After the interview, when they talked to me also, in the interview also, they were so concerned about the increase of corruption everywhere and deterioration of human values, patriotism, children not wanting to read their mother tongue, and the influence of Western thinking and culture. Almost every writer talked about, voiced these concerns to me. And how North is different from South is in one way, we South in South, we all had a very, very safe life. We did not have any invasions. We did not have wars. Whereas North India went through a lot of that. And when the partition took place, when Pakistanis were shifting to Pakistan and Indians who came to India, I mean, the agony, everybody left their home, property, everything, and came away here. And even today, I can see the longing that they're hoping that one day they'll go back to their hometown and see it. Same thing with Kashmiri Pandits. When they were asked to leave, I'm not joking, overnight, the night the announcements came, if you want to convert, you convert. Otherwise, you leave tomorrow morning. And I have met Kashmiri Pandits who have left like that, leave everything and just come and settle in Jammu or some other place. And all these agonies are reflected in Urdu, Sindhi, and Kashmiri, Punjabi writings. You can see them. We have not gone through it, but they have. Similarly, writers who write in Urdu, Sindhi, and Indian Nepali, they all have a very big longing in them, and they feel complex in them that they are stateless. Like Tamils have Tamil Nadu, Marathis have Maharashtra, Bengalis have Bengal. These three languages, they don't have their own state. So they feel they are homeless. They feel they are orphans. And they also feel because the government is not there to protect their language and rights, slowly their languages are dying. It was very sad to see these people talking about it with a lot of agony in their voice. And in Manipuri, Dinamani Singh was a writer whom I interviewed. In many languages in India, barring Tamil, Hindi, Malayalam, Marathi, Bengali, a lot of small languages, they don't have market at all. Because in Manipuri, the writers told me, and also the Sindhi writers, that they have all migrated to various parts of the world due to various reasons. And they have all forgotten their mother tongue and their culture, their habits, and they have become natural citizens of the country where they are staying. And the writers feel that they are not able to read the mother tongue because they don't know. Dinamani Singh, the Manipuri writer, told me that about 15 years before, by spending his own money, he published 1,000 books of his one novel. He says he gave away 200 copies as complimentary copies. And not even one copy sold. The 800 are still lying with him. He asked me, Sivasankari, can I give you some? Will you take some copies with you? What will I do? Manipuri language books? Who will read here? Very sad. All those experiences, it made me think from a different angle that how lucky, fortunate we are all, whereas they are not. And now I would like to read some quotes. Some of the writers, what they feel about literature in general. Okay. Now, Gangadhar Gadgil, a Marathi writer, he says, there is no formula for a short story. It is a narrative that organizes experiences in an artistic order. The modern short story peeps into the subconscious and often delineates the inner feelings and the emotions of the character. The delineation or expression of inner contradictions in human beings and their conflicts have become a feature of modern short story. The short story may be a reflection of reality or maybe pure fantasy. However, it may be what it expresses is a configuration of experiences. Now, this is from this you can also know about what they mean by good literature and how they write. A lot of things are understood from these quotes. B.K. Bhattacharya, a very, very important senior Assamese writers. Unfortunately, all these people are no more. When I met them itself, they were all 80s, some of them in 90, but they're all no more. And if only I had more money, I could take a videographer with me. I could have videographed all these intellectual giants. But now it's all over. They're all not there anymore. B.K. Bhattacharya says, Assamese writer, I always maintain that I write for people. One writes for one's readers, not for the critics. Different languages open different visions. English writing will reach out to a particular class. If you write in your own mother tongue and in a colloquial style, your work reaches out the kind of people who can benefit from your writings. How true! How true! I met when I was in America to attend a literary meeting. I had the opportunity to meet Gugi. It is G-U-G, Ngugi, Gugi, a very important writer from Nigeria. He said when he was prisoned, until then he was writing in English. In the prison only he realized whatever he wrote about the working class or the have-nots, it has never reached them because he wrote in English. And then he took the toilet papers from the prison and started writing in mother tongue, his own tongue. So when he signed a book for me, he said to Sivasankari, who has been writing in her mother tongue, my compliments, you know. So it's very important to write in mother tongue. And this writer, Korathaleen Haidar, a Urdu writer, she says beautifully, novels did not descend from heavens. They grew out of stories, fables, and legends. In those days, people sat around the bonfire at night while a fellow called the Daftango, storyteller, told stories. The narration running across several days at a time. This practice was called Quissa. No radio or television. It was wonderful to watch Dastango narrate stories in a spellbinding manner, emoting all the time. It is from this quizza that the genres of short stories and novels were born. How interesting. My grandmother, my mother, they all also used to tell stories, and all of us used to sit around and listening to it. And in that way, this quizza is a very important phenomenon. Finally, I'll just read one quote from Indira Parthasarathi, our senior Tamil writer. The Tamils have always prided themselves over the Sangam literature and Tirukkural being their treasure and kept Tamil apart from other Indians and Indian languages. Instead of making our ancient literature common property, we have claimed sole rights over them and thus alienated Tamil from non-Tamil speaking population. How true, how true. Why do we hesitate to adopt the philosophy? Let the world derive the same pleasure that I have found. Yam petra invam peruga ivayagam. Enunciated by the literature of our language. So, why did I quote these writers? Because each one of them, they have something common. You understand something common. How a literature should be. What is a good literature? But there again, is there a norm to say a definition to write it this way or that way? I felt after meeting all these writers, they all even felt the discrimination between good writing, bad writing should be abolished, because any writing can be good or any writing can be bad. And they also, most of them never liked the differentiating woman writer and male writer. They said writer is a writer, so don't bring in sex into this. Some of the unique, thought-provoking messages which has made me think a lot, and I want to share some of them. The writer, Lal Pushp, he's a Sindhi writer. He said, when a writer writes something, publishes it, at that moment he dies, creating hundreds or thousands of writers through the readers who read the book. How beautiful. Just remember, every one of us read a book. We close it after a chapter. We just add our imagination. We think of something. We have our own end. We change the characters the way we want. So each one of us, the reader, becomes a writer. I mean, I thought this was beautiful. When he said that, I thought it was so good. Balachandra Namade, a Marathi writer, is totally against short stories. He says short stories are not literature. They were created by the magazines to fill the pages. Well, I don't agree with that, but it's his strong opinion. Inder Bahadur Rai, an Indian Nepali writer, explained to me what is cubism. Until then, I've never heard of cubism. And he has handled this cubism in his writings. So he explained what cubism is. Cubism is something that you see something what the eyes cannot see. For example, there's a table with 4 legs. You see 2 legs. But you know there are other 2 legs are there. So he says that's cubism, and very, very interesting. Listening to some of the experiences of some writers was very sad, made me almost cry. There was a Telugu writer called Ravuri Bharadwaja, a short story writer. He was an orphan. He didn't even have food to eat. He was in the platforms. But somehow he went to the school with the help of prostitutes. The prostitutes gave him 1 or 2 rupees or whatever it is and paid the school fees and made him finish his studies. And I asked him, that year only he had received his Sahitya Academy Award. So I asked him, you must be feeling very proud about receiving this award. He looked at me, opened the drawer and took a broken spectacles. He said, Shivshankari ji, when I was 14 years old, my eyesight went bad. I had to wear a glass. The glass costed 15 rupees. I didn't know how to get it. But Lakshmi, the prostitute, who was taking care of me, she collected that 15 rupees and bought this glass for me. For me, this glass is more precious than the award. You know, you have to cry for these things because, and he said, if I have a next Janma, I would like to be born as a son to Lakshmi, that prostitute. I mean, every writer has gone through different experiences personally. And when I met Shivaram Karanth, the great writer from Kannada, he was 92 when I met him, but what clarity he had, what knowledge, and how he remembered everything. You can't believe that he was 92. And after the interview, we were sitting and talking and eating. During the course of the talk, environmental And Sharam Karanji told me, what else do you expect out of human beings, Sivasankari? The human beings are selfish. I mean, I didn't like the generalized statement. I told him, you can't say generalized like that. He said, no, even in Vedic times, they thought only selfishly. I said, how can you say that? In Vedic times, they say, Sarva Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. Sarva Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. He said, yes, that is the thing. They said, Sarva Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. They should have said, Sarve Jive Sukhina Bhavantu. Not just let human beings be hale and healthy. They should have said, let every living thing live peacefully, healthily. You know, it was such an eye opener for me. And ever since, it's so many years now, when I pray Sarve Jive. I can go on like this and talk about the pain partition gave and the writings that came out of it. Gulzar, the famous uh, poet and lyricist, he has written a book called Ravi Par and other stories. This is about partition. You know, the story, I don't know whether it's a true story or what, but it really saddens you. It's the last day in Pakistan and people have to evacuate, go, but there is no way to go. Thousands of people are waiting for the last train to catch up the last train. They say it's the last train. Here afterwards, no more train service. And there was a Sardaji family living in Gurudwara, and the wife that particular day delivers twin boys. Mother says, I'll somehow stay here. You take her and go to a safer place to India, to Hindustan. So he puts these two small newborns in a bamboo basket and takes the wife and goes to the station and absolutely no space, chock-a-block. But when they see the tired woman and the two small babies, they somehow give space and they get into the apartment and stand in one corner, completely squashed by people. And the train starts, it's dark, so no light, nothing. And anytime the revolutionaries, people can come and attack them, or robbers can attack them. I mean, it was a very, very apprehensive, scary time for every one of them. While during the journey, suddenly the husband realizes out of the two babies, one baby has become still. He touches the baby and the baby is cold. So it must have died sometime before. They have not even noticed it. And the woman is clutching the basket with the babies so tightly around her bosom. So when the river was going on the train was going on River Ravi. Once they cross it, it is Hindustan. So one of the persons standing next to him says, why take a dead body to your new life? Throw away the dead body. So the husband, without asking the wife, not considering her protesting, just takes the baby and throws it out. And Gulzarji writes a line, in the dark night, from the baby came a thin crying sound. You know, they have kept the dead baby inside and thrown the baby which is alive in there. This kind of stories, they haunt you. And when I started the project, I approached some reputed organizations for funding. Very important people. I mean, I don't want to mention their names. With lots of hope, because it's such a new project and it is national integration, introducing Indians to Indians. But 2-3 people, I went to 2-3 organizations and all of them, they said, the concept is very good, but we have no provision for such project, because they could not understand. They were asking how many copies you're going to print. I can't even, I've not gone to the level of copies. I was at the level of researching, field work, then transcribing. Then I have to think about the printing. But when I explained it, nobody understood it. They thought I was not clear cut. It was not possible. Then I said, okay, I won't ask anybody for monetary help. If I have 4 children, and if all the 4 children want to do postgraduate, doctorate, I will somehow find money to educate them, right? So the same way, these 4 volumes are my children. I will do the best, whatever I can. And that gave me a satisfaction, and it was lovely. And now somebody can ask me, you did 16 years of work, travel, met so many people, and everything is great. But have you achieved your objective of introducing Indians to Indians? Well, this is a utopic question because I'm a very practical person. Knitting India is a long journey, miles and miles. Maybe if I have taken my readers and fellow Indians few miles in this long journey, I think I'll be the happiest person. I want somebody living in Rajasthan to read the travelogue about Kerala, and he or she should decide for next vacation we'll go to Kerala. If that happens, I feel my objective is fulfilled. If somebody from Manipur or Assam reads Tamil writer Jayakanthan's interview and writing, and once goes in search of Jayakanthan's book in the internet, then I feel I have succeeded. But one incident took place which I want to share with you. When the first volume came out, I had designed the book, I have put my heart and soul in it. I'm going to show you those books right now, but you will see, when you look at the book, you will know it is something to do with literature, alphabets. The wrapper itself, when I went and met the great art director, Tota Tarini, and I asked him, I want one look for the person who takes the book in the hand to know that it's about literature. And he made a special, beautiful wrapper. The wrapper also, for all the 4 regions, I have done differently. South India is surrounded by sea, so it is blue in color. And east is verdant green, so it's green. And you have Thar Desert in the west, so it's brown. And north, naturally, Himalayas, white. So I've taken pain in attending every little detail. And that is why when the project was over, I was disappointed in certain ways. In a sense, I'm a Tamil writer who writes in Tamil. Why did I choose to write in English? I wanted the English version to be read by all states, and the translation will be much easier if it is in English. If it is in Tamil, direct translation, how many people can do it? I wanted this book to be translated in all Indian languages and go to younger generations, the school and college libraries. But that never happened. Not a single state bought one book, and nobody did anything. But I can't say nobody did anything. I'm talking about the government. But later on, the last 5, 6 years, something beautiful is happening. Suddenly people are aware of this, they're talking about it, it is selling well, and I want to mention about few very nice-hearted people, but whom I owe a lot. First is Jayanti. She is a reader of mine who's like a daughter, stays in Seattle. She read these 4 volumes and she was fascinated by it. And these 4 volumes together, they weigh 5 kilos. So every time she came to India or ordered it, took 4 sets with her and gave it to the Washington University in Seattle and various other universities, and also to the Tamil organizations there. One such set went to Kannada Ilakya Thotam, which is a very important literary organization headed by the important writer R. Muthulingam. When he saw it, he called me. He said, Sivasankari, where have you hidden this book all these long? I said, sir, my duty was to write it, not do propaganda and sell it, sir. Then, last year he invited me to Toronto and his organization gave me an award, Vision of Indian Literature Award. Then I must tell about Akira Srinivasan. She's a director of Sriram Group of Companies. When she read Knit India Through Literature, 4 years ago, she came to me and said, Amma, I want to do something about it. My company will do. What is it that you want? I said, I want these books to go to all universities in India. I want younger generation to have access. You know what she did? That company ordered 400 sets of Knit India Through Literature. That is 1,600 books. Each one is about 1.5 kilos. It's a coffee table book. And with their extended office network, she sent one set to every university available all over India. Then something very nice happened. I met our External Affairs Minister, Honorable Jaishankar, 2 years ago, and I gave him one set of this book. He was obviously impressed by it and started browsing it. And in his Instagram, immediately he mentioned about the whole my meeting and about the books. And he has sent it to Prime Minister. And Prime Minister, within 15 days, in his Man Ki Baat, the monthly talk program, he mentioned about me and Knit India work. I was so happy that Prime Minister has known about it and he talked about it. And not only that, Mr. Jaishankar's office ordered 100 sets, that is 4 into 100 sets of this Knit India book, and sent it to various embassies and high commissions in all over the world, Indian embassies and high commission all over the world. In every embassy or high commission, these books will be there. That was such a proud moment for me. And similarly, our past governor, Honorable Ravi, he read all the 4 volumes and he talked about it in one of my meetings. And then, without even telling me, he ordered 50 sets of Knit India and sent it to every Raj Bhavan available in this country. He said, these books deserve to be in Raj Bhavans. And so, I've been so happy. God has been so kind. I was happy with this project because I was the fortunate one to meet the 100 literary giants of last century, who known them, moved with them, and crisscrossed, traveled this country and saw nook and every corner of this great country. How many of you know? How many of you gone to Nalanda in Patna? 3,000 years before, there were 10,000 students from all over the world studying Sanskrit, astronomy, astrology, and maths. India was such a high level position, and it ruled intellectually, culturally, and also in wealth. How many times people have invaded us? Gajini, we read in history book, he came 18 times and took the wealth. Similarly, how many? In spite of all this country, we have a lot of problems. I don't deny it. We have a lot of negativity and which have to be removed and improved. But then, apart from all this country is a great country, has a great history. I want every younger generation to be proud of this country. For that, he has to know the details as authentic as possible. That is exactly what I've tried to do through this Knit India through literature. And I think I have come to the end of my speech. Now, Mangala, I'll show you, there are two publishers for me. One is Vanati Padipaham in Pandibazar T Nagar. The other one is Pustaka.co. They are ebook people, but when you contact them, they will give you the physical copy also. While Vanati has brought hard-bounded books, the Pustaka has brought the paperback books. Also, what Pustaka had requested Pustaka to do is, since each volume is heavy, it is difficult for people to carry it and read it. I have requested Pustaka to put each language as a single book. That is, means you also have 18 single books of each language. Now I'll show you. This is the South volume, hardbound Vanati Padipaham. And this is the East volume, hardbound. This is the West volume. You know, if you open it, you will see on both sides, it is the alphabets. West volume, hardbound. And this is Himalayan North, fourth volume. And now I'll show you the paperbacks of Pustaka. This is the paperback. It's lighter. It's easy to hold and read. This is green. And I have brought identical English Knit India through literature, Ilakya Moolam India Eneppu in Tamil. This is again the West paperback. This is the North paperback. And these are the single language books. I'm not showing you all the 18. I'm only showing, this is Tamil Nadu, Tamil. See the size of this book. It's like a regular book. And Bengali. Konkani, this is Konkani. Small size book. And this is Punjabi. So if somebody wants to buy each language separately, they can do that also. And for that, you have to contact Pustaka. I've given you the person handling it, the main person, their name and their mobile number. And I've talked to them also that in case somebody is interested, you can call them and they will send it to you. Thank you, Tamil Heritage Trust, once again, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I enjoyed, I relived once again my experiences and my journey. Knit India through literature. Jai Hind.
That was absolutely wonderful. And it was really amazing. And to be honest, I'm sure Rajagopal feels the same. We have so many questions to ask you because the project was so in-depth. And as you correctly said, so our questions are also almost amounting to that, I feel. But maybe before we ask our questions, in case there are any questions from YouTube, Rajagopal, would you like to ask first? By the way, for our viewers, this is Rajagopal
Yes,
from Tamil
Gauri, thank
Heritage
you.
Trust. He'll be moderating our question answer session today. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a bunch of questions on YouTube. I'll go through them one by one, ma'am. First, from Uday 365. It's more of a comment. What a fascinating project and what interesting experiences and so engagingly narrated, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us, Sivasankari ji. This is Uday. And he has a question: where can one buy the book of translations? I think you just showed, ma'am, both the publishers, both Vanadi Padipagam as well as Pustaka.
Yeah. Just 1 minute. Yeah, before concluding, I'll also put up a slide. Yeah, just 1 minute. Before concluding, I'll also be showing you a slide with details of the publishers and phone numbers. So all of you can note in that. Before we conclude the session, I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be very helpful. Zurich 31, very humble, but yet having the strength to convey the nation's writers and poets to speak their frank mind. Thank you, Zurich. Truly a knitting process. And Subramaniam Rohini has this remark. Paradoxically, India could be knit by English. Yeah, as ma'am herself explained, we do have this challenge of not knowing the languages of the other regions. And ma'am herself mentioned that she had to interact with other language writers in English. So truly, English has been our the language of connection, and it has knit us together. Zurich again, not only through English, but also coaxing people to spend the time to learn the emotions and a bit of the language. Okay. Now the question from Mira Syrian. What are your thoughts about having one or more young Indian writers continuing your Knit India work with continuing volumes, ma'am?
Hey, Meera.
One or more.
She's my niece from America. Oh, I'm so happy you heard it. I'm so happy. And I wish I could find some young writer who is interested in taking it forward. I'll definitely help in whichever way I can help. Thanks, Kana, for asking this question.
So I had a follow-up question to this same question, ma'am. I had written it down. So when you had worked on this project, 3 decades ago in the late 90s and early 2000s, obviously, as you mentioned, you did not have these camera, cell phones, or these recording devices and gadgets and all kinds of facilities that we have today. So if somebody were to take up this project today, it's going to be a lot easier in terms of the tools that are available, the transcription facilities that are available. So much more is available in terms of the gadgets and facilities. So, do you see some young writers coming forward to take this up, ma'am? Has anybody expressed interest?
Mira's question. She also asked a similar one. No, till now, no young writer has approached me because, first of all, let me tell you, although we have all the gadgets and the technology has grown so much, unimaginable level, still, you need a lot of money to travel, go, meet people. I mean, it's not and you have to spend time.
Yeah.
Like I spent 16 years, maybe you should spend at least 6 years.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't.
Yeah.
And if financial support is not there, how will you do it?
Yeah.
Somehow, I think I was possessed. It was like something got into me and made me do it. It's just God's will and grace. Otherwise, I don't think I could. Today, when I think back, although I'm elated, I just wonder, how did I do it? Honestly, going to unknown places, godforsaken places. And, they speak some language. The food is different. And English was not spoken by many people there.
Yeah.
So how did I go about here and there and did it? It was some force made me doing it. That's all. And if youngsters are interested and if they can do it, definitely something can be done. I feel even Sahitya Academy, when they came for the 4th volume publishing, the secretary said, Sivasankari's this work, not only first of its kind in Indian literature, is also a benchmark for people to work further. I wish I'm 83 years old. Hereafterwards, I don't think I can do much at all. And I wish some youngsters come, the patriotic feeling is there, it's spread. I wish something happens like that.
Ma'am, in fact, as a follow-up question, I wanted to ask you, Did you feel that there was a particular writer whom you wanted to include, but for various reasons could not? Or did you discover any writer subsequently whom you felt could have been added to the volume? Like, did you, in which case, any young writer can take that up? That's why I'm asking. Like,
No, only two writers I can think of. One is Oriya poet, Sitakant Mahapatra, who is a Jnanpith Award winner. Somehow, somebody gave me wrong address and it was terrible to follow it up, So I missed. My letter never reached him. So I didn't include him. Similarly, in Karnataka also somebody said I could have included one more person whom when I called, some people, not all writers were absolutely good. One or two were very rude also. I didn't want to talk about it. Let me tell you, when I did Marathi language, I interviewed 6 people there, including one dramatist, a great drama playwriter. I took the timing, I took everything. 6 months before, I read about all the things, prepared my interview, went there, and they took the interview, everything. And 6 months later, when I sent the manuscript for factual correction, error correction, he said, give me time. It was 10 pages, I'm telling you. After 2 months, I reminded him. After 2 months, I again called him. He was a bit irritated. He said, my wife is not well. I can't give you now. Wait for some time. 10 pages. And 1 year later, I heard that his wife died. So I sent my condolence letter and I also asked him, the whole book is waiting for yours to go for printing. He just coolly said, remove me from the book. All the effort I had done. I mean, there were people like that, experience like that also, but I didn't want to talk about that. I want to talk about all the positive side.
No, I only asked because in case a young writer is not able to come up with a complete anthology, they can at least put an annexure or addenda to any of these. So,
no, Gauri, all the writers I interviewed were above 70 years. Only 1 or 2 Dalit movement writers were young. All others were 70, 75, 80. And believe me, 95% of the writers I interviewed are no more. So even if I want to call somebody and interview now, they are not alive. The time is gone. So they have to do fresh research and find out the present day writers, and they should go. About that, I don't know much because I'm not an active writer these days. You see.
Rajgopal.
So Gauri, this is not a one-person job. I think Madam has done something really phenomenal.
Absolutely.
This is something
I told
to
her
be
also
done by a great institution, right? Institutions like Sahitya Academy or large institutions with a bunch of, a big team and a lot of money with travel and everything planned, logistic support.
See,
and a team of videographers.
That's my regret too. Had somebody had taken it up and spent money and archived their video and audio, how nice it would be for the posterity. But it's all gone now. They're not going to come back again. We missed the bus.
Yeah, this needs to be done by philanthropic organizations and on a large budget with a big team of people doing this. Ma'am, people like Sivasankari leading the project, but a big team of support system, working behind them.
Doing the actual legwork.
That's what can.
Yeah. Some more questions.
You need to have photographers, you need to have transcript writers, and you need to have translators. You need a big team, and all of it, ma'am has done single-handedly. Remarkable, ma'am.
You have any questions?
God grace.
Yeah, couple of more questions. Interested in knowing how this is going to affect your thought process, and more importantly, your future writing, Zurich. So, ma'am, you mentioned that you're not into much of writing now, but
yeah, I was going to ask you that after this project, was there a change in your style and of writing? Like, was there a change in your thought process vis-a-vis writing?
Even in my earlier days, I was never influenced by a writer. I liked writers, but I never sort of followed some style or something like that. So I had my own style, my way of presentation. And after all this work, I was enamored by the work and their thoughts, and I became richer. Otherwise, it never sort of influenced my writing in it.
Also, I had a small question. Like you have different genres, no, like plays, poetry, short story, novel. Are all these genres present in all these languages?
Yeah, definitely. All much more folklore is there.
Ah,
Different category, same categories.
okay.
They're all there in
So
all
that,
languages,
oh,
but how well developed they were in 30s? That is the question, because in Tamil, in 3000 years before, we had Tolkappiyam and Shankagara Ilakyangal. You can compare that only with Sanskrit.
yeah.
Nothing else. Hindi is about 350 years old. It's an amalgamation of 6 dialects. So many people don't have this kind of rich heritage. And what they have lost it because of invasion. When, like Konkani, when the
Ah,
people were ruling them, they would cut the tongues of people who spoke Konkani. So they never even were allowed to speak in Konkani. How will a language survive in spite of all this? Huh? The Portuguese.
oh,
Yeah. So, ma'am, one question about your view of India before you started the project, and as you kept traveling, as you kept meeting people from literatures from across states, what were some new perspectives or new thoughts in you which emerged as part of this project? Did your view of India change significantly? Were
Certainly,
there some new
certainly. I
learnings,
told you
new
about the
perspectives
Nalanda.
that you
When I
acquired?
visited the Nalanda University ruins, I was taken aback. For 2 days. I could not even sleep. You know that how well those constructions were there. 10,000 students and teachers sitting on a dais. Everything is still maintained there. I mean,
yeah,
to some extent.
yeah.
And when I go and saw Ganga Arati in
Mm.
Kashi, it has been going on like this for 5,000 years without any interruption. Tell me one country where things are happening without any disruption for thousands of years. I have been to Rome, I have been to China, I have been to Egypt, I have been everywhere. Their ancient culture is in museums. Whereas in India, our ancient culture is still kicking alive. Whether the Ganapati worship or tree worship or worshipping Panchanaga cobra on a Panchami day or the Ganga Arati. I tell my friends when I speak to them, take your children to see Grand Canyon or Eiffel Tower. Great. But also take them to see Ganga Arati and Nalanda and places like that. Oh, this country is full of history. I thought I knew something because I was a traveler. But this litigious travel, it made me respect and love my country 1,000 times more.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay. One question on women writers, ma'am. Were their approach to writing, the themes that they took up, and their voices, were there some uniqueness to women writers compared to men?
First of all, I don't like categorizing women writers and male writers. Anyway, I did include one or two women writers in all mine, like a Dalit writer, a woman writer. I made it a point that it was a holistic, wholesome presentation, not done with partiality or with any preconditioned mind. Women writers have had a lot of freedom to write. Whomever I met,
Yeah,
Vinodini Devi was a princess from Manipur. She was writing, she was creating a loud voice about the rights of women. And Dhiruben Bai Patel from Gujarat, from day one, because her mother, when she was delivered, she was wrapped by a khadi. So ever since, till the day I met her, she wears only khadi, she's a Gandhian thing, and talks highly about, writes about those philosophies. very, very interesting women. I met a lot of women writers.
Rajkumar.
Okay. One question about today's readers, ma'am. With YouTube and YouTube Shorts and Instagram and so many other distractions and technology, the attention span, as they say, has come down significantly. Be it older people or younger generation, cutting across age today, the ability to read books or ability to sustain motivation, sustain concentration seems to be a challenge. Considering this situation, a phenomenal work like this, how do you think it can reach youngsters of today, especially, ma'am?
How it can reach is what my friends, the governor, the external affairs minister, they have done. They have bought it and sent it to various libraries, universities, embassies, and Raj Bhavan. So I want this book to be bought by everybody, and I myself have seen to it that at least in 500 colleges I have sent this book on my own over the period of year. So one has to spread it, make it a compulsory reading for them, rather than including it in the curriculum, so that at least one volume, in 3 years they finish. One volume, it can be any volume. I'm
And then
not
I think
particular about.
paperbacks and these 18 volumes also makes
Yeah,
it easier to like
yeah, they can take
one step
four
at a time.
languages. Yes, but nobody is doing anything, ma. Let me tell you. Now, some nice people have come around and they have taken the responsibility. But I completed this project in 2010. It's now 26 years. And 5 years before, it was resurrected by God's grace again. And everybody is talking. You have asked me to talk about it like that. It'll go. I used to say, this book cannot be ignored, not because I wrote it, because of this country's history and what is the content. I said it will be recognized after my death, because I never expected, because I don't believe in lobbying. I have done my duty. Okay, I'll never lobby. If people think it should reach people, and I can have cooked. It's for you to eat and assimilate. I can't do anything about it.
But it's a great piece of documentation for posterity. I mean, say even 50, 100 years down the line, for them to know what type of writers there were across India, how they wrote. Like, it's
And
very, very,
it's
very
not
important.
literature. They talk about the status of women, status of youth,
Yeah.
and certain history. It's a comprehensive, the writers.
Worldview. It's a
Yeah,
comprehensive Indian worldview in a way, because it spans across the entire country. So,
right.
Uday has a question again. He wants you to summarize your experience of India in one sentence. After having gone through this massive project, how would you describe India in one sentence, ma'am?
A country that has been united by culture and heritage. The Indian culture is same. Wherever you go, elders are respected. Whichever language it is, it can be in Rajasthan, Kutch, or remote place there, or Kashmir, or Manipur, or Goa, wherever you go, you first find that elders are respected. They always say touch feet. In North India, they are very particular. And they immediately bring you Atiti Devo Bhava. Guests are treated well. Any place, any corner of India you go, they might give you a buttermilk or water or whatever according to their capacity. And Acharya Devo Bhava, treat gurus. But nowadays, in certain pockets, that value has deteriorated. But still, generally, I found the culture, the values are same all over India.
Yeah. Yes, Gauri, I think we've exhausted all the
do you have
questions
any
on
questions
YouTube.
of your own? No, I said, Rajgopal, you have any question of your own?
Yeah, I did have a question
I think it's
about
7 o'clock.
Huh?
yeah.
I think it's 7 o'clock. It's It's
Okay.
time to wind up, I think.
Okay,
Right?
fine. Okay, that was really, really wonderful. Anyway, any follow-up questions that are there in YouTube or elsewhere, we will post it to you and you can answer
You
them
can
at
show
leisure.
the cards where the books are available.
Yeah, I'll just show that now. And I said these questions I'll send you in WhatsApp and at leisure, maybe you can answer them. And thank you so much. And I hope most of our readers will use this as an initiative to buy these books and read them, at least one volume at a time. And 1 minute, I'll just share this once. Yeah, these are the 4 volumes as shown by Sivasankari madam, and these are the 2 publishers. You may please note down the numbers here. Vanati Padipagam, as she said, is in T Nagar. The person to be contacted is T Ramanathan, and this is his phone number. I'll also take a screenshot of this and post it in THT and other places, so you can note it. And the other publisher, as she said, is Pustaka. They have a website, pustaka.co.in. The person to be contacted is Rajesh Devdas, and this is his number. Then contact him. They will also supply e-books and hard copies. And as she said, they are also out with paperbacks, and they are also probably coming out with 18 volumes.
No, not probably.
Hmm.
They have come with 18 single books.
Okay, 18 single books.
Pustaka has already come out with 18 single volumes.
So at least 1 volume at a time. We hope our readers will take their first step, nascent steps in this, and try and learn more about other literature of our country, which is very, very, very important. Because as she correctly said, we all appreciate Latin literature, Spanish literature, and of course the Western English literature. I think we should also spend some time to learn about the literature of our own country, because it feels closer home and definitely more meaningful and connected for us. So on that note, I'd like to end today's talk. And once again, thank you so much, Sivasankari madam. It is really, really wonderful. Most people know you as an acclaimed Tamil author. Not everybody knows about this project of yours or the tremendous effort that was required from your side. Thank you so much for sharing your personal insight and experiences. It was really, really wonderful.
Thank you. I hope it was a meaningful evening for everybody who
Yeah.
attended.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for our viewers and all those people who missed the talk due to various reasons and commitments. The link will be available in our YouTube channel. Kindly view this. And look forward to seeing you next month on the first Saturday with our next monthly talk edition. Thank you so much. Thank you from Rajgopal, me and Sivasankari.